us up on the Rumble. And good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History. What happened today throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with November 5th. Remember the 5th of November here. We have off a main source, 1138. Li An Tong was enthroned as Emperor of Vietnam at the age of 2, beginning a 37-year reign. Not tame, but reign. 1228 here. Wu Mekyun, a collection of 48 Zen koans, were compiled in China. All right. It's pretty cool. What is a... It has to be a book. So, what is a Zen koan? Let's look that up here really quick. If I'm even pronouncing that correctly. Hey, we've been... hold on a second. Turn on the microphone. Yo, what's up, Rat King? How you doing today? We are currently live right now. But how's your day so far?
My day's going pretty good so far, guys. How are you going?
I'm doing pretty good. King is AFK right now. Anyway, so what a koan is a story, dialogue, question, or statement from Chinese Chan Buddhist lore, supplemented with commentaries. Let's see, that is used in Zen Buddhist practice in different ways. The main goal of koan practice in Zen is to achieve kensho, to see or observe one's Buddha nature. That's pretty cool. So yeah, as we said earlier, Wu Mekyun, Kuan or whatever, a collection of 48 of these koans, Zen koans, were compiled in China. That's pretty cool. Moving on up to 1492, Christopher Columbus learned how to grow and harvest maize, also known as corn, from Cuba's indigenous population. All right, teaching him a little bit of cultivation and all that stuff. That's pretty cool there. 1499, publication of the Catholican in Trigueur, Brittany. Breton French Latin dictionary written in 1464 by Jehan Lagdeuduc was the first Breton as well as the first French dictionary. Ooh. So Breton and French, not Britain and French, but Breton. That's different people there. Moving on up to 1500, between now and November 6, astronomer Copernicus observed a lunar eclipse in Rome. Ooh, that's pretty nice. 56 years later, we have the Second Battle of Panipat. Hindu Emperor of North India, Hemchandra, and pardon me one moment. I suddenly had a cough. Hindu Emperor of North India, Hemchandra Vikramaditya, was defeated by forces
You
of
alright there,
Muslim...
man?
Never. He was defeated by forces of Muslim Mughal Emperor Akbar. It was a trap. Who captured and later beheaded Hemchandra. Yikes. 1572, Danish astronomer Tycho Branch observed a new star, a supernova, with the naked eye in the Cassiopeia constellation, proving objects changed in the world beyond the moon, making his reputation. All right. So yeah, Tycho Brahe. I've never heard of him before, but that is an incredible discovery right there. 1605. This is the big one here. You remember the 5th of November, right, Rat? Hello?
What year?
1605. We have here,
Ooh.
Catholic conspirator Guy Fawkes attempted to blow up King James I and the British Parliament in the gunpowder plot. The plot was discovered, and Guy Fawkes was caught in the cellars of the Houses of Parliament, where he had planted gunpowder. He was then tortured and later executed along with 7 others. This day has been celebrated ever since as Guy Fawkes Day. His effigy is traditionally burnt on a bonfire, accompanied by fireworks. So, if you ever seen or heard of the movie V for Vendetta, that's what this is revolved around. It was an actual attempt to assassinate the king and, the parliament and all that stuff. And he had, they were ready to set it off, man. Everything was ready to go. That's how close they got. So
They got hella close.
very close. I mean, in the cellars with the bombs planted, ready to go, just light it up.
Yeah. That's all he had to do, and then he got caught.
Yeah. So... moving on up here to 1630, Spain and England signed the Treaty of Madrid, the peace treaty ending the Anglo-Spanish War of 1625 to 1630. All right. Pretty good. Always nice to end wars and all that stuff. It would be better not to start them, but, 1639. By the way, we've just been joined by...
Hey, King's Refuge.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, King.
Hey, Ash. How's it
Yeah.
going, brother?
1639 here, we have the first post office in the colonies was set up in Massachusetts. All right. 1740, the third volume of philosopher David Hume's seminal work, A Treatise of Human Nature, was published by Thomas Longman. All right, that sounds like an interesting book to read. A
Hey,
treatise
can
of
you go
human...
back a second for the first post office?
Yeah, 1639. This one.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
It is.
Where was it? Where was it built at in Massachusetts?
I'm not entirely sure. Let's look that up here. Surface level scratch of this article. First post office in America. All right, let's just click this link here. Let's see here. Yada yada yada. The General Court of Massachusetts designated Richard Fairbanks' Tavern in Boston to be the first official repository of mail in colonial America. Letters were to be delivered by clipper ships through a European chain of coffee houses and taverns, which are commonly used as mail stations. Well, I'll be danged. Like,
Damn, taverns and coffee houses.
yeah, yeah, it's coffee
Go
houses
figure.
and taverns. Yeah, yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah, could you imagine going to like a Starbucks or like, Moe's Tavern, and picking up your mail? Like,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
I don't know about Moe's Tavern, but that'd be a little shady.
Yeah, well, true. 1743, we have a coordinated scientific observation of the transit of Mercury was organized by Joseph Nicholas Delisle. And a transit of Mercury, what that is it's crossing the sun. It's transiting, from one position to the other, between the sun and our observation post. So that's what a transit is. 1768, the Treaty of Fort Stanwix was signed, the purpose of which was to adjust the boundary line between Indian lands and white settlements set forth in the Royal Proclamation of 1763 in the 13 colonies. So that took 5 years to enforce there. And yeah, here we go again. More the white people attacking the natives and all that stuff. Not good things, but yeah. 1773, John Hancock was elected as moderator at a Boston town meeting that resolved that anyone who supported the Tea Act is an enemy to America. Yeah, the same could be said with a lot of stuff in today's world. If good Sir King wants to pick up at any time, he's welcome to say something. 1780, French-American force under Colonel La Beaume was defeated by Miami chief Little Turtle. That was like a chief of a Miami Native American tribe called Little Turtle, but this kind of sounds like a sports team. Miami Chief Little Turtle. I thought the Chiefs were in Kansas City.
We are.
Oh, so you moved from Miami to... I'm making a terrible joke on this guy.
We were in Texas.
Ah.
And then moved to...
I have an ex in Texas.
Well, your exes live in Texas?
One of them does. Oh. Anyway, 1781 here, John Hanson was elected the first president of the U.S. in Congress assembled. So this is 1781. This is, in the time between us winning the revolution and the actual formation of the United States. It was roughly a 10-year period before we figured out what we were going to do. And this is one of the attempts. So, George Washington is known as the first president of the United States, but what would become the United States had other presidents in other times, this guy being one of them. So, 1789, fleeing slaves under Boney attacked a military post in Suriname. I don't know about you, but if I was a freeing slave, I wouldn't stop and attack something. I would keep going. Maybe that's just me, but, yeah, that just enhances...
It's on the way.
Yeah. And we also have in 1789, a French national meeting declared all citizens equal under law. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. As long as you're a citizen. Legally, So. Then off a main source here, 1811, Salvadorian priest Jose Matias Delago rung the bells of La Merced Church in San Salvador, calling for insurrection and launching the 1811 independence movement. And there's another 1811 right after that coincides with this. If anybody wants to read, as soon as I find it, where'd it go? Here it is.
Alright, 1811, El Salvador's first battle against Spain for independence.
That didn't take long. So, once the bells ring, it's time to start, you know. Another often made source here, 1834, founding of the Free University of Brussels by Pierce Theodore Verhagen, and I wonder if it's still free. But 1838 here we go.
Honduras declares independence of Central American Federation.
All right. Good stuff for Honduras right there. 1862, where'd it go? I have my article has a little bit more meat on here, so I'm going to take this. 1862, during the American Civil War, Abraham Lincoln appointed Ambrose Burnside as head of the Army of Potomac, replacing McClellan. And if anybody's wondering, this guy's name, Burnside, yes, indeed, this is the inspiration for the term sideburns, the facial hair, thing.
I could tell, man. Look at those things.
Yeah, exactly. So there's like, oh, look at his, look at Burnside's sideburns, and the rest, as it said, is a history, and that's where we get that. I've got another often made source here, 1862, during the American Indian Wars. So, while we were fighting ourselves, we were also fighting the natives. In Minnesota, 303 Dakota warriors were found guilty of struggle snuggle and the, unaliving of whites and were sentenced to death. 38 were ultimately hanged and the others were reprieved. So, that's unfortunate that 38 had to be hanged, but at least it wasn't anymore. Yikes. 1872.
Yeah, that was a pretty dark one.
Yeah, we have quite a few, it's history. We have goods, we have bads, and once again, I have a little bit more meat on this article here. So, 1872, in defiance of the law, U.S. women's right to vote, which is suffrage, advocate Susan B. Anthony voted for Ulysses S. Grant, her first vote, and was later fined $100. And now she's commemorated on a coin, the very denomination, or currency that she was punished with. Pretty interesting. Yeah, Susan B. Anthony, to hell with the law, I'm going to vote. You go, girl. Susan B. Anthony, good. Very good. And, I don't think her one vote counted, but, I find it really interesting who she voted for. What happened also in 1872?
Ulysses S. Grant, re-elected president.
All right. So, she voted, the guy she voted for, won. That's pretty cool. What else do we have?
Due to the fallout of the Pacific scandal, John A. Macdonald resigns as Prime Minister of Canada in 1873.
What was the Pacific scandal? What was Pacific scandal? All right. It was this political scandal in Canada involving large sums of money being paid by private interests to the Conservative Party to cover election expenses in the 1872 Canadian federal election. To influence the bidding for a national rail contract. As part of British Columbia's 1871 agreement to join the Canadian Confederation, the federal government had agreed to build a transcontinental railway linking the seaboard of British Columbia to the eastern provinces. The scandal led to the resignation. So basically, lobbying, essentially, which should be illegal. Lobbying should be viewed as treason, honestly, So, but that's just my opinion. 1876.
Henry Morton Stanley expedition leaves Nyan Wheat.
All right. I have no idea where that is. That has to be somewhere in Africa. It sounds African.
I imagine.
But yeah, he was a journalist and explorer. So I was just like, hey, back in the age of exploration, got to give these people some nods here. 1881, in New Zealand, 1,600 armed volunteers and constabulary police field forces, led by Minister of Native Affairs John Bryce, marched on the pacifist Maori settlement at Parikaha, Western Taranaki, evicting upwards of 2,000 residents, as well as destroying the settlement in the context of the New Zealand land confiscations. This happened because the settlement had become the symbol of protest against the confiscation of Maori land. So basically, they were against some things, and the very things that they were against happened to them. New Zealand didn't treat their natives any better than we did out here. Any better than Australia did to the Aboriginals. So, 1889. Here we go.
All right, go ahead. Give me a second here.
Okay. Louisa Woodsey became the first woman to be ordained as a minister in any Presbyterian denomination in the U.S., specifically at Cumberland Presbyterian Church. All right. Finally got a woman as a minister. That's good. 1895, Edward, Prince of Wales, said, quote, "We are all socialists nowadays," end quotes. Well, at least the world's policies are.
Damn.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I can't really disagree or agree, like...
There's nothing to say about that, man. He kind of nailed it on the head.
Yeah. It's one of those inconvenient truths, that you don't want to accept, but you can't argue against. So...
I completely agree there.
Yeah. 1895, we have the first U.S. automobile patent granted to George B. Selden for a gasoline-driven car. We've been talking about cars, the first car this, first car that the past couple of days. That's pretty cool. So I guess it's Toyota-thon, right now, or Honda times, or what was the Hummer one? They made fun of it in Family Guy, right? Yeah. Somebody help me. What was
I don't know, man. I don't watch too much TV.
I was hoping King here would help me out with that.
I think King's AFK.
No, he's there. He's showing that he has no idea what I'm talking about. Well, that makes two of us, or three of us now. 1985, U.S. state of Utah accepted female suffrage. All right. 1898, Negres nationalists revolted against Spanish rule and established the short-lived Republic of Negros. Oh, it's not me saying a bad word. This was an actual historical event, people out there. Don't get mad at me. Look it up. So, moving on up into 1900, under U.S. military control since the end of the Spanish-American War in 1898, so just 2 years prior, Cuba now called its own constitutional convention. All right. 1905, Roald Amundsen reached Eagle City, Alaska, to announce to the world by telegraph he was the first expedition in 400 years of attempts to complete a Northwest Passage. If anybody was going to do it, it'd be Roald. That guy, you can tell by his face, he's an explorer. He's done a lot of stuff in the poles. So
He's seen some things.
Oh, yes, he has. And actually, I think he died during one of his explorations. Oh, yeah, a plane crash at the age of 55.
Holy crap.
Yeah. 1928.
What a way to go.
Yeah. So, let's see here. What do we got? 1911. Where'd it go? We got that one. Calligraph. Why is it not here? Here it is. All right. You know what? If anybody wants to take it. So, I guess I'll take it. Calabrath Rogers arrived in Pasadena, completing first transcontinental airplane flight, which took 49 days. He had left Sheepshead Bay, New York, September 17th. So it took him 19 days because, he had to stop and refuel quite often. So this was only 1911, While that was going on, after declaring war on the Ottoman Empire on September 29th, Italian forces took or annexed Tripoli and Cyrenaica, declaring suzerainty over Ottoman-controlled Libya. Suzerainty. I've never heard of that word. Let's look that up here really quick. Suzerainty. Let's see. Includes the rights and obligations of a person, state, or other polity which controls the foreign policy and relations of a tributary state. What's a polity? A polity is a small group of people with a collective identity who are organized by some form of political, institutional, social relations and have a capacity to mobilize resources. So like a small little government thing. So, but allows tributary
Bunch of rich people, it sounds like.
Well, yeah, it's an oligarchy, of course. Because money makes the world go around, and who has the money? So
the small group.
Yep.
Right there.
The big club, you know, as George Carlin liked to call them.
The big club, huh?
Yep. Have you never heard
What's
that?
female suffrage?
Female suffrage is women's right to vote. Well, suffrage means the right to
Oh,
vote. So female
nice.
suffrage. There's been protests for male suffrage in several European
Because I
countries.
see in 1912, Arizona, Kansas, and Wisconsin voted for female suffrage.
Yep. They're voting to allow women to vote. They're
That's
big.
very good.
Yes, very good.
I didn't know when Kansas did that, man.
Oh, now you do. 1912. Well, that's
Yeah.
probably wasn't ratified. This is when it was on the polls, so it might not have won, but at least they're taking a step forward. It's on the ballot, So,
Yeah.
1912 as well. Bulgarian troops in Constantinople blockaded drinking water. That's not nice.
No.
Water is a human right, contrary to this whatever the CEO of Nestle said. And he said that. He said water should not be a human right. That is a quote of his. I cannot be sued for libel because that's in the documents. It's something that came out of his mouth hole. So.
That is a quote of his.
Yep.
Also, another true fact: in some countries, it's illegal to gather rainwater and drink or use for your crops because the government owns it.
California, it's illegal to gather rainwater. There's one person.
Holy crud!
in the entire state of California, to my knowledge. There's one person who's legally allowed to collect rainwater, and that's after 30 years of going through all this corporate red tape. All the government bureaucracy. Go to this line, fill out this form, fill out this thing, go here, go there, talk to this person, email that, call here. Just he got
That
through
is
it.
ridiculous. For something that falls out the sky, you have to.
Well, to be
That's
fair,
just-
there's so much crap in, especially in the LA basin, like all that's coming down with the water. You don't want people to drink all the smog, so
Yeah,
there
but
is
if
some
you filter it
environmental
all
problem.
out and charcoal it, you should
True.
be good.
True, but that makes sense, and that's the last thing the government wants to do is make sense, so, yeah.
Yeah, true enough.
Speaking of horrible government things, here, 1912, Democrat candidate Woodrow Wilson, waiting for King to go boo here. So.
I don't think he's here anymore.
Thank you.
Oh, there he is.
Was elected president of the United States, defeating Republican incumbent William Howard Taft and progressive candidate Theodore Roosevelt. Woodrow Wilson, this piece of trash.
That dude beat Roosevelt.
No,
I hate him.
this guy, he signed into law the Federal Reserve and the IRS. We have those two things because of this snake in the grass.
Or his wife.
Yes. Or his wife, whatever. Whatever the case, he's the one who signed it. So,
Yes.
1914, Britain as well as France declared war on the Ottoman Empire, known today as Turkey, and annexed Cyprus, which had been occupied since 1878. The immediate reason was to keep it from being taken by the Ottomans, and this is during the First World War, So, yeah. 1916, German Emperor Wilhelm II and Austro-Hungarian Emperor Franz Joseph I established the Kingdom of Poland via the Act of the 5th of November. So happy birthday, Poland! Yeah?
Can you scroll down just a little bit so I can see the picture?
Oh, yes. Yeah, let me see if I can
Holy
figure this
crap.
a little bit. Oh, yeah, no, they, politicians...
They have some stashes.
That's the King of Prussia, Wilhelm II, and Austro-Hungarian Emperor Franz Joseph I. Yeah, back then, people had some serious, facial hair and everything. The last person to have a distinguished, actually no, it's not Hitler. It's Fidel Castro. To my knowledge, is the last world leader to have a distinguished, facial beard, mustache, whatever, because he has his big old beard. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here.
This is interesting.
Yeah. 1916, the Second Chamber accepted initial impetus to general male/female suffrage. So right there, the right to vote among the whole board. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody.
Yeah. I have no idea. Second Chamber of what country? So I'm just gonna look up this article right here, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna get anything. Oh, UK maybe, maybe. I don't know. I would have thought by 1916 British would have had like at least male suffrage. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, 1916, the Everett Massacre took place in Everett, Washington, as political differences led to a shootout between industrial workers of the world, the IWW, organizers, and local police. That's not good. So, as soon as police force start firing on their own citizens, as I said yesterday, that's you're in the wrong. 1917, General Pershing and U.S. troops saw action on the Western Front for the first time. General. 1917 as well, Supreme Court decision, Buchanan versus Worley struck down Louisville, Kentucky's ordinance requiring blacks and whites to live in separate areas. Good. It's good that got struck down. Like, it should not segregate at all. Like, Kentucky, so the South. 1917 though, that's more recent. Well, then again, all the what's the word? Happened in like the 50s and 60s. Civil rights, all the civil rights movements and everything happened much later than that. So yeah. 1917, Lenin called for the October Revolution. That's not good. Here we go, the rise of the communists. 1921, Soviet Russia signed a treaty with Mongolia, temporarily supporting the new government against China and Japanese incursions. Ooh, well, look at that. That was before China, went communist themselves. It would be another 10 some odd years before Mao Zedong really started stomp on his feet, so to speak. Blah.
Look at 1925, man.
Yeah, we're getting to this
one.
right here. British secret agent Sidney Riley, the ace of spies, also known as the first super spy of the 20th century, was executed in a forest near Moscow by the OGPU, the secret police of the Soviet Union. Well, then was he really that good of a spy if he got caught and killed?
I don't know, man. Maybe they just memorialized him because he got caught.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like too much of a good spy. Look at him.
Well, this guy, no, that's not him. That's Benito Mussolini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a different article. That's the inventor of fascism.
Oh, okay. I was going to be like, damn, that's a hell of a spy.
Yeah, like how inconspicuous with a big old hat and golden eagle. Like, don't mind me. Don't pay attention to me. I just look glorious.
Yeah.
I look like freaking like Bison from Street Fighter. Don't mind me. But speaking
he does too.
Yeah, he does. Well, because Bison is modeled after Soviet thing, right? Like
yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what Sidney Riley actually looked like now that you're talking about. Let's see if he looked like a spy.
Let's see what he really looked like.
Huh.
See,
Okay.
that looks more like a spy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just an average dude.
Yeah, especially the one on the right. The one on the left, he shows his age. But the one on the right, he just looks.
It looks like he's a little drugged out on the right, man.
A little bit, like there's also a painting, I think. Maybe is that?
No,
a
I
painting
think that's a picture.
It might be a photograph. It just looks weird.
It really does.
Yeah.
Is it AI made or something?
I wouldn't believe so. You can never know anymore these days. Anyway, speaking of Mussolini, though, 1925 as well, Mussolini disbanded Italian socialist parties. Getting rid of socialism, bringing in fascism and all that stuff. And moving on up to 1932, Benito Mussolini freed 16,000 convicts. That sounds a little familiar. Isn't that...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, isn't that something our country did? Freed a whole bunch of people, refused to incarcerate actual violent criminals, let everybody go on the slap of the wrist, turn everything into chaos, bring in anarchy so people will vote for the next Hitler so the train will run on time. Sound familiar?
Sell all the shit across the street from the store.
Yeah, that's been happening too.
Yeah,
1930,
really bad.
Yeah. 1933, Chicago Bears, the Bears, 30-game unbeaten streak ended to the Patriots 10-0. And this is well before what's-his-face could deflate any balls, so maybe this was legitimate. So,
Damn. If it is, 10-0 is a hell of a score.
yeah. 1933 as well. Spanish Basques voted for autonomy. Basques, are those? That has to be a people from the Basque state. Spanish Basques. Oh yeah, here we go. Um, they are a southwestern European ethnic group characterized by the Basque language, a common culture, and shared genetic ancestry to the ancient Vascons and Aquitanians. Basques are indigenous to and primarily inhabit an area traditionally known as the Basque Country, a region that is located around the western end of Pyrenees on the coast of the Bay of Biscay and straddles part of north-central Spain and southwestern France. So they wanted autonomy. They wanted to be their own thing, which is, I'm all for that, you know? If they can be independent and self-sustaining, let them. So, yeah.
Especially if they're connected to Spain and France. They got a hell of a pipeline for supplies.
Yeah, you know what? Basque region. Let me see if I can find it. Basque language? No. Basque country. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, so they are, it looks like on this map here, yeah, they are directly connected to France, so you're right.
Yeah, that's like one of the main ways to get there is through there.
Oh, okay, so you're talking from a position of knowing, like you already knew that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Awesome. 1935, Maryland Court of Appeals ordered University of Maryland to admit Donald Murray, a black man. You know, good. Like, you know, if the law has to come in, you know, and enforce them to not be segregationist, then, you know, then yeah, bring the law in. I'm all for this. You know, teach the guy. Come on. 1935, this one, you know, is, you know, the bane of a lot of people's existence here. Parker Brothers launched the board game Monopoly. And the family structure has disintegrated ever since. Yeah.
Game night is the bane of existence.
Yep. 1936, French writer Andre Gide criticized the Soviet regime in his Return from the USSR book or whatever after his visit to the Soviet Union. All right? Yeah, so, yeah, he criticized the Soviet regime in that book, as he should, because it's not a good regime. Speaking of bad regimes, 1937, Adolf Hitler informed his military leaders in a secret meeting of his intention to go to war. Yep. So, and it would be just under 2 years later when it actually started. 1 year later after this, though, Ottawa Rough Riders scored on 5-man, 4 lateral, 65-yard punt return. I don't know what that is, but it sounds impressive. Maybe King could tell me what that is if he knows. It sounds like football. The Ottawa Rough Riders. 5-man, 4 lateral, 65-yard punt return.
4 laterals is a bit ridiculous. Usually you only do one if that.
All right, so it is impressive.
Yeah.
All right. 38. So, by the way, if you want to read anything, King, you know, just raise your hand.
I was gonna hop back in here. 1938, Paul Osborne stage drama on borrowed time closes at the Longacre Theater in New York City after 321 performances.
All right.
Is that a lot?
Not really. Actually, I unintentionally highlighted that. I didn't mean for you to read that, but I just let you go. But what else do we have here?
Rutgers. In 1938, Rutgers beat Princeton. First time in 60 years as Rutgers Stadium dedicated.
That's one way to dedicate the stadium. Yeah, like first time in 60 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
1914, Allied convoy of 38 ships encounters German cruiser Admiral Scheer in the North Atlantic. It escorts HMS Jervis Bay, sacrifices itself, and the loss of 190 lives. 5 other convoy ships sunk.
Yeah. Battle of the Atlantic. Like, once again, if anybody
wants to... one dude took out 5 people, huh? 5 ships by themselves.
Yeah, well, it was a German cruiser, also called a pocket battleship, so it was more than just a cruiser. It was like
Ah.
intermediate between an actual battleship and a cruiser.
So it had the shells it needed.
Yeah, it had slightly better guns, than a normal cruiser and all that stuff. Because basically, like from what I've learned on World of Warships, there's destroyers, cruisers, battleships, and aircraft carriers. Those are like the main four, and then there's other, like hundreds of subcategories. But in between cruiser and battleship, there's like a pocket battleship, stuff like that. So this was not just any ordinary cruiser. This was, a serious threat as it took out 6 ships, like because the Jervis Bay here sacrificed itself, and then 5 other convoy ships were also sunk versus 1 ship, so 6.
Yeah, he scuttled himself.
No, he threw himself in the line of fire, so that way, the rest of the thing, like it's the Battle of the Atlantic. This is
so he just went in full guns, huh?
Essentially, yeah, like.
What a crazy bastard!
A good movie to watch to kind of get a gist of of this situation would be Greyhound.
Greyhound.
It's a recent movie with Tom Hanks. It came out like a year or so ago. He was Tom Hanks played the role of a captain of a destroyer, I believe, and they were convoying from the U.S. to Britain supplies for the war effort, and there's some German submarines and all that stuff all over the place and all that whatnot. So, but speaking of submarines and everything, what else do we have in 1940?
1940. Oh, you want to go, man? Ash?
Oh, go ahead, man.
All right.
No, do you want to read, Ash?
No, go ahead, King.
Now, you want to read? Go.
All right, man. 1940, Dutch submarine departs Dundee, it looks like.
Yeah.
Dundee?
Dundee. I wonder if that's where crocodiles are. Got another one here for you if you want.
Yeah, sure. In 1940, former baseball player for the Washington Senators, Walter Johnson, loses Maryland Congress race.
Ah.
So he was going for Congress, huh?
Yep. On the ballot today, go out and vote, by the way, if you live in the United States, make sure to go out and vote. Yeah, go vote. My sunglasses are downstairs, but, I have pictures. I've shown them to King so he can attest, that I'm telling the truth here. I'm making a collage on my sunglasses. Yeah, my voting stickers.
Go vote.
Yeah. Let's not influence votes, though. Let's not point at that hat too much. Thank you.
Go.
Yes.
Go vote.
But what's his face? Another former baseball player. I can't remember his name, guys. Something Harvey, not Steve Harvey, but something other Harvey. A former baseball player. He's running for Congress or Senate or something. He's on the ticket this election as well. But anyway, there's been a lot of people in sports and all over whatnot. We got another 1940. By the way, good sir, Lost Rat King. We go by 3x3 articles. If you want to take a third one to wrap up your turn, then we go back.
3x3.
Yeah. So we read
All right.
I read 3, somebody else reads 3, and then whoever else reads 3. So that way we all get airtime.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
In 1940, it looks like Franklin D. Roosevelt was reelected as president of the United States for unpredicted third term, defeating Republican candidate Wendell. I can't pronounce that last name.
Try it.
I'll sound like a fool.
No, try it, dude. Try it.
We all do.
Wilkie?
Yep.
Wilkie, whatever.
I think so.
Sure. Yeah. Franklin D. Roosevelt is the only president in U.S. history, I believe, I strongly believe, to ever had a third term and a fourth term, and they actually had to go in and revise some of our laws to, limit presidential terms to 2 terms, so we wouldn't have because imagine that 4 terms at 4 years each, 4, 8, 12, that's 16 years under the same guy. That's turning into a freaking monarchy,
Yeah.
That's dangerous. So. Uh, 1941 here, Japanese naval staff officers Suzuki and Meijima left Pearl Harbor. They were spying and all that stuff. So, and as we know, a month and a couple days from now, is December 7th. And what happened on that date? I'm asking you. What happened?
December 7th,
Yeah, 1941.
1941. Bombs drop.
No, that's a date that will live in infamy. Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bombs drop on Pearl Harbor.
Oh, well, true. 42 here, we have a Nazi raid on Greek Jews in Paris. That's, predictable for the Nazis, but I wonder why the hell Greek Jews are doing in Paris. That's just, okay. 42 as well, pro-British clandestine radio Diego Suarez's final transmission. No idea who that is, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to look that up. But if anybody watching us wants to look that up and let us know in the comments section, that'd be fantastic. 43, what do we got here? Ooh.
1943, Vatican and Rome bombed by an unknown source.
Huh. That's interesting. Who would bomb the Vatican? How would we not know? That's a pretty big
Another
topic right
guy's Fox, huh?
No, it was not Fox. Guy Fawkes was...
That's another guy's Fox.
Oh, another Fox. Maybe.
Yeah, another guy's Fox.
Well,
Maybe.
Somebody was going after the Vatican. He's like, I want what's underneath you.
well, it does coincide with the 5th of November.
Oh,
Maybe
sure
it might have...
do.
Maybe it might have had some kind of relation there. That's interesting.
Maybe.
Never thought of that, actually.
1944, German troops blow up Houston, North Brabant City Hall. 134 people die.
Dang. Just chilling at City Hall, doing City Hall things, and they blow up. That's not good.
Man.
40. Go ahead.
1945, Colombia joins United Nations.
All right. I got a off a main source here. 45. 3 days of anti-Jewish riots in Tripolitania commenced, and I believe that has to be Tripoli. Where is Tripolitania? I've never heard of this place. Historic region and former province of Libya. So, and Tripoli is in Libya. So it's somewhere around there.
So in Africa, huh?
Yep. Anti-Jewish riots, but that was by 45. No, 45. It was no longer under German control. So I wonder why they were having that. Anyway, back to Sir Rat King. We have two kings here today, but we've just been joined by
The Golden Loon, and I got what's on your head? I can't see it.
Oh, well, I voted.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. Okay.
Yeah, you voted on the day.
Nice.
If you want, I'll show you after the show, but we
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
Yeah, influence. So,
influence anybody.
yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
We're just saying go out there and vote. Who you vote for,
Oh,
I
no.
don't care.
No.
Just vote. Just
vote. Absolutely vote.
Vote.
make your voice known.
There you go.
So, back to good Sir Rat King here. If he wants to take 46.
What are we talking
Well, it looks
about?
like in 1946, John F. Kennedy, Democrat from Massachusetts, was elected U.S. House of Representatives.
Nice. So later to
Our
become
35th president was, in the House before he was
Yep.
Yep.
even. He was working his way up the damn ladder.
Guess he
Absolutely.
is. Yeah.
With Dad's money.
Another off-of-main
Yeah.
source here, 1950, during the Korean War, British and Australian forces from the 27th British Commonwealth Brigade successfully halted the advancing Chinese 117th Division during the Battle of Pakchon. And that's just in there, not only were we in there, but it wasn't the U.S. with Korea. It was a UN movement, the Korean War. So, the U.S. was part of the UN.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the U.S. specifically, aiding South
But
Korea.
It's 90% the U.S. doing the heavy lifting.
Yes, but in this particular circumstance or situation, we have British and Australian,
Yeah.
So, that's pretty cool. 53, back to Sir Rat King.
Oh, wow. This is a good one.
Yeah.
In 1953, film How to Marry a Millionaire, directed by Gene. Holy crap!
Close enough for me.
That's a name. That's a
Good
name
luck.
right there.
Gee, holy
I'll
crap.
say that.
Who can ever forget that great, director,
Starring
Gene
One of the
Lauren
all-time
Delsey,
Yeah.
Betty Gable, and our Marilyn Monroe here, first to be filmed in CinemaScope. Release day delayed to allow to Rogue to debut the format.
So basically,
The hell?
this movie was the first to be filmed in CinemaScope, like
Right.
a new type of filming.
Right.
But they allowed this other movie to debut that format.
Oh,
So this was the first to be filmed in this, but not released in this.
gotcha. Yeah.
Essentially.
They held it up for
Oh,
some reason.
nice.
Yeah, for the Rogue to debut. Like, must have been some kind of, Hollywood mumbo jumbo happening or
A
whatever.
deal was cut.
Yes. Oh. This one's interesting here.
Looks like in 1953, Paul Sears saw a 32 either inch or long, looks like inch,
Yes.
84 or 86.4 seconds.
Yep. Yeah, 1 mark is foot, 2 marks is inches.
Oh, he saw the log.
Yeah, so he
Okay.
saw a 36-inch log, not 2 logs, just one 32-inch,
Wait.
0.4 seconds, so like a minute and a half almost, roughly.
Yeah, less than a minute and a half.
Yeah. So
But
that's...
he make one or two, it doesn't say. Just he cut that log.
Saws-
I thought it was 2 cuts, but no.
No, Pearl Sears saws a 32-inch log in 86.4 seconds, so just one.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. 1954. Where is it here? Montreal Canadian center Jean Bellevue scored 3 goals in 44 seconds on future Hall of Fame goaltender Terry Sawchuk in a 4-2 win versus Boston Bruins. Second fastest NHL hat trick. 3 goals in 44 seconds. Like,
Yeah, that's faster than the logs.
yeah. That's slapstick in a whole
Nuts.
other way, Now, here's something interesting to all of our sci-fi lovers out there. On this date, November 5th, 1955, is when Marty McFly went back to, the past.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what a great thing to have in there.
Yeah, from Back to the Future. So, this is when
On this day.
Yeah, to meet up with Daddy-O.
Yeah. Hey, you on the bike.
Yeah. 1955 as well, the rebuilt Vienna State Opera reopened with Ludwig von Beethoven's Fidelio after having been destroyed in World War II. So, this Vienna State Opera House was destroyed in World War II, and this is when it reopened, and they premiered it with, a showing of Beethoven's Fidelio. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but we got to save that clock tower, guys. So. 1956, the Nat King Cole Show debuted on NBC, the first variety program to be hosted by a black U.S. citizen.
I remember that
Awesome.
show.
Yeah. I remember the name. Like,
He's a great singer.
He's historically
As
significant.
they said back in the days, he is a croner.
What does that mean?
A really good tone to his voice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's why I say it's way back in the day. He's
Yeah.
called that, not anymore.
That doesn't sound like a good thing to say anymore. I'm not sure.
It doesn't. It sounds like a
Yeah.
negative.
No,
It sounds like
it's
some
a
kind of
bad
slur.
thing to say now.
Anyway, back to
Yeah.
back to the Refuge King. What do we have here?
1956, Britain and France land airborne forces in Portland. Said sorry. Yeah, Portland.
Oh,
That doesn't sound right. I want to start that again. Britain and France land airborne forces at Port Said in Egypt, escalating the Suez crisis.
yeah. I think it's pronounced Port Said. I'm not sure. I'm not. Correcting you. I might be wrong. So
That sounds correct.
yeah, Port Said, but it's Port
Port
Said.
Said. Sorry.
But yeah.
People
So
All about the Suez Canal.
yep. Oh.
Also in 1956, Dutch Communist Party office of Felix Mertes seized.
Huh. All right.
What are they doing?
Well, it's
Probably
yeah, freedom of speech crushing.
communists.
Yep. You know what communists don't get to do? Vote. Yeah. Try not to push it too hard, but yeah.
It's true. Look at it.
Umar?
Now, also in 1956, Pope the 12th. Wait, Pope Pius. Sorry. Pope Pius the 12th publishes Encyclopedia Suprema. A lot of these guys do this, right?
Well, as I mentioned before, an encyclical is basically like a holy memo. Like how a memo would be passed around in an office. This is just the Vatican, the Catholic Church's form of that.
Of course, it's passed around the world throughout the
Yes.
Catholic Church.
Well, yes, through the whole church
Yeah.
worldwide,
Yeah.
But this encyclical specifically concerned the Soviet invasion of Hungary to suppress the Hungarian Revolution of 1956. This is a second encyclical protesting the oppression of the Hungarian people. Pope Pius, as in his previous protest, did not mention the Soviet Union by name, but we all knew who he was talking about. So, yeah, we've spoken about that revolution the past couple of days.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now this one's pretty big. Rat King gets to talk about this if he wants to.
Looks like in 1957,
Mrs. Nellie McGrail?
yeah, my eyes are a little
Ah,
wonky right now.
that's alright.
Mrs. Nellie McGrail wins $574,658 on a 2.5 cent soccer pool ticket.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Talk about cashing in on a penny
Wow.
slot, man.
Wow.
That ratio is nuts.
Yeah.
That is, she must have bet on the lowest guy, man.
I'm just surprised there was still even a half-cent counter, back then.
And
Like, like
well, halfpence and stuff like that. It's probably in England.
no, this is cents. This is U.S.
Cents?
Yeah.
Yes,
Cent.
that's the dollar sign there. That's
Oh, yeah,
not
you're right.
England.
Okay.
So, or maybe it could have been like the equivalent of a dollar. Or I don't know. Maybe this was British and they converted it to U.S. I don't know, but that's still incredible.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and you know how much 575,000 was worth in 57?
well, you know what? Let's look that up here right now. 1957.
You could buy a 57 Chevy for about $1,800 new.
Let's see here. Well, why is it not convert? There we go. Value of, here we go. Yada yada. Hold on a second. Why is that? Value of, not 100. 574,000 calculates. I did. Okay, well, I guess you don't want the comma. Okay, come on. Delete the comma. Calculates. I entered a bloody number. Son of a... Okay, they don't want the dollar sign in there.
Don't worry about
There we go. Okay. $6,448,051.32 a day. Wow. Like,
Nice.
that's
Yeah.
you can
She
buy
bang,
quite a
bang.
bit with $6 million.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I say you could buy a 57 Chevy for
Yeah.
brand new.
Yeah. And another one for Rat King if he wants. If you don't want to read, don't feel pressured, dude. Like, just let me know. I don't want to force you into anything.
No, it's okay. I'm getting used to it.
All right?
1959, AFL announced with 8 teams.
The American Football League.
Yeah, they're going up.
Nice.
They're going up directly against the NFL. They
Now-
still formed their own league.
Now, was the AFL before the NFL, or
Oh
was
no,
it?
the AFL's the older league.
Okay.
Well, now they're both together, obviously.
Okay. So this is when the AFL started.
Formed, yeah.
Okay, 1959. Which, that seems really recent, but I mean, like, the football, as you've told us, the biggest part of it was the college back then. There was no major or any of that with any sport, really.
Yeah,
Like,
college basketball was much more popular than professional basketball.
yeah, your football, basketball, baseball,
Same thing with
whatever.
football, yeah.
Yeah, that's where the new talent was.
I appreciate the college rules better.
They were around first, so
What's that now?
he appreciates the college rules better.
Oh,
So.
yeah.
1965, Pierre Le Fou, directed by Jean-Luc Godard, starring Jean-Paul Belmondo and Anna Karina, was released. And that title, Pierre Le Fou, reminds me a hell of a lot of that one episode of Cowboy Bebop. That big fat guy who floats around and was immortal and all that stuff. That was the name of the actual, something like that.
He was
Oh, the
he was
laughing
like
guy?
Yeah,
he was like a baby or some shit.
yeah, well, he was mentally stunted from all of those experiments they did on
Yeah.
him. So.
Wasn't that comic strip with a skunk, Pierre Le Pew?
Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe, okay, Pepe Le Pew.
It was Looney Tunes, not a comic strip.
Okay.
It might have been a comic strip though
It could've
before
been,
that. I don't
who
know.
knows, yeah.
So, but now he's problematic. So
Pepe Le Pew, that's what it was.
yeah.
I'm all wet.
1966, the Monkees scored their first Billboard #1. The Last Train to Clarksville, written by Bobby Hart and Tommy Boyce.
Yeah, wasn't a Monkees fan, sorry.
All right.
Kind of a teeny bopper thing.
73, ATS-3 launched by U.S. to take first pictures of Earth full disk or full Earth disk. You know what? Let me look that up here really quick, because I know Earth has a ring around it of natural dust and everything. But I guess this is the full disk. So this is the photo that was taken by ATS-3, I believe, in 1967.
Yeah, when they got the first picture.
Yeah. Look at that. That's the first picture of Earth's full disk. That is cool.
Yeah.
It's the blue marble. Later on, though. 67. What else do we got, good Sir Refuge King?
1967, New Orleans Saints first NFL victory beat Philadelphia Eagles 31-24.
All right.
Nice.
Another one. Oh, here we go.
1967, the Hither Green Rail crash in the United Kingdom kills 49 people. Survivors include B.G. Robin Gibb.
Oh, the Bee Gees.
Ah.
So Robin Gibb survived the plane crash, or the rail crash. But it was still 49 people died. That's unfortunate there.
Yeah.
That's kind of a weird article, It's like it's
I know. I kind of read that like I started it like thinking I'm gonna.
You had some enthusiasm, and then it was
I
like,
know, right? I'm like, oh, it's about an
Okay.
artist. I'm gonna put some enthusiasm on it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. 1968 MLB Detroit Tigers, Lenny McLean, first AL pitcher to win MVP. He winning unanimously.
Did you call him McLean?
McLean?
Oh,
McLean.
I thought he called him McLame. I was like, what do you have against this guy? Got it. Go ahead.
1968 Republic. Oh, you got off source here. I'll let you go.
No. I thought that was your third, but you can go ahead.
1968 Republican candidate Richard Nixon is elected president of the United States, defeating Democrat candidate Hubert Humphrey and independent candidate George Wallace.
Yep.
I'm not a crook.
George, interesting fact, George Wallace was somebody who also had an attempted assassination against him.
Oh,
Yeah.
recently?
He was a segregationist, Wallace.
Oh.
What do you mean
From
recently?
the South.
I thought you said recently.
No, George Wallace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, someone did. I think he ended up in a wheelchair from it.
Oh, this piece of shit. Okay, yeah, this guy.
He's a segregationist.
He's the
from
guy
South.
who like physically blocked black kids from going into a school,
Yeah,
right? And then the National Guard had to come in.
When the federal government said, no, you can't do it, all states have to open up all their schools.
Cause of death: septic shock from a bacterial infection.
It's quite a few years ago he died, though, I think.
I want to laugh. I really want to laugh.
I will say that justice was served in that.
Yes, justice was served.
Yeah, but you're right. That assassination attempt, he ended up in a wheelchair.
Good. That wasn't bad enough for that guy. Piece of crap. But here I have an off-main source article. 1970, the Military Assistance Command, Vietnam, reported the lowest weekly U.S. soldier death toll in 5 years at 24. So that's something.
Oh, I think that'd be Commandant, right?
Command. It's from an off-main source.
Oh,
That's what it said.
Yeah.
So I just typed out what it said on my
I
phone.
tried to
So
make it make sense.
Oh,
But it doesn't.
Actually, I think it's supposed to be command, not command. I think I was just
Yeah.
So yeah. But over to RK. I'm gonna call Rat King RK and King's Refuge KR from now on, so that way.
Oh, that won't be confusing.
Well, it's less confusing than trying to figure out which king I'm talking to.
Yeah, that
Too many
is true.
kings.
I gotta charge my tablet, so you take it from here for a minute.
All right, 1971, Bolivia passed the death penalty for political kidnapping. I agree with that. You know, don't kidnap politicians. It's simple. Don't kidnap anybody. You know.
Don't kidnap anybody.
Yeah.
It's got
Yeah. 71, the LA Lakers starts a 33-game consecutive victory streak.
Ooh, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was a record.
Yeah. 73, Arab producers announced a 25% cut in oil production. So artificial scarcity.
That's right. When that's when we started having lines and all that stuff.
Oh, so
somewhere around there.
So that caused the oil recession?
Yeah, well,
because there was a glut before or after, right?
Well, gluts come and go, but they wanted to get the prices up, so the cartel over there, all the eastern countries, decided they'd cut production and cut back and hold back, and they caused a shortage.
Yeah.
So we ended up with odd day, even days when you could get gas by your license plate number.
Yeah.
Last number odd and even.
Yeah. That's some serious.
Yeah, it was a mess. It was a mess.
1973, Bay Area Rapid Transit, aka BART, started the San Francisco Daly City, or to Dali City, so San Francisco to Dali City, train shuttle service. All right. So between those two cities, now you can get to work at home, all that stuff. 74, Ella Grasso of Connecticut elected the first woman governor not related to the previous governor, or a previous governor. All right.
So it was a family event.
Well, no, not
up until
elected.
then.
Yeah.
Up until then.
Yeah. 74, Walter E. Washington became the first elected mayor of Washington, D.C.
How about that? You told me about that.
Yeah. A guy named Washington being elected Washington, and then
way to go, Walt.
Yeah. But I was I was wondering where this guy was born. I was like, if this guy was born in Washington State, I'm just gonna lose my mind. But no, he was born in Georgia somewhere. Said early life. Here we go. He was born in Dawson, Georgia. So, all right, now I don't have to lose my mind. Thank goodness. 75, Sao Tome and Principe adopted a constitution. All right. 76, Baltimore Orioles Jim Palmer won the American League Cy Young Award. All right. Heard of Jim Palmer?
Yep.
Kind of has not a 1,000-yard stare going on in that photograph. He's
looks
seen
like
some
it came
stuff,
off a
man.
full 9-inning game is what it looks like.
Yeah, he's tired. 76 as well, new American League franchises in Seattle and Toronto filled up their rosters. All right.
Yeah.
76.
Expansion.
Yep. Pirates traded Manny Sanguilin and $100,000 to the A's for manager Chuck Tanner. All right. 78, Khomeini followers attacked British Embassy / El Al office in Iran.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, isn't that the Iran embassy thing?
Read it again. Khomeini. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I wasn't getting it.
Okay.
You're right. That's exactly what it is.
Because I can't pronounce these words because I'm fucking uncultured as
you
all
know,
hell.
Why do you think I stay so far away from reading that crap? No way I can read those names.
Well, I don't need your help in myself making it look like a fool. So, and that was the worst way to say that. 1978, Oakland Raiders John Madden became the 13th coach to win 100 NFL games. Football!
Yeah.
So, we got football, boy. Football. Come on. 79, Supreme Leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khomeini, described the United States as the Great Satan amid accusations of imperialism and the sponsoring of corruption.
Yep.
I can't disagree with him.
Called us the great Satan and Israel the little Satan.
Yeah, well, he's 100% right with both of those. So, especially us. You know,
Wow.
we are an imperialist
I
nation.
adamantly disagree with that.
Well, what other country has bases in other countries?
There's a lot.
81, former NFL Miami Dolphins player Mercury Morris was sentenced to 20 years in prison for drug trafficking, conspiracy, and possession of cocaine. Reached plea bargain while conviction was an appeal, served only
Not
3.5
cocaine.
years. Yeah, the Colombian powder. Snow. Mercury Morris.
Yeah.
What a name.
Yeah, football player.
Yeah. Football? Football!
Yeah.
82, Cleveland Cavaliers lost 24th consecutive game as NBA record. Yikes.
Not good.
Yeah, just quit for the rest of the season. So, 83, just in time for KR if he wants, or I can keep going.
1983, New York Rangers in Quebec, Nordiques. Thank you. Both scored the first 14 seconds. Both scored the first 13. How is that possible? The third period.
They were really fast. I don't know.
Wow.
Let's see if there's a video on this actually. So if it's only 14 seconds long, we
Yeah,
won't get slapped.
I'm
with,
interested in that, man.
Yeah, I am
That's
too.
nuts.
Okay, here we go.
I don't even watch hockey. This.
What is this?
I want to see this.
That looks like a video game. That is
The
a video
video
game.
That is a video
Okay, hold on a
fucking
second.
game,
Where's,
dude.
okay, is this it? That's controller.
No,
setup.
that's a game. It looks
Um,
like all this is video game stuff.
Has hat trick. Quebec versus Nordiques. This might be it. That was 83, correct? Yes, it was. This might be it? Question mark. I hope. Yeah.
Let's hope.
As play continues, Randy Moeller around now for Pat Price. Price with Housley after him. He ties him up. Here's Kluche with a quick line.
So there's one score.
Real Buddy Kluche with the
And now we're counting for a minute.
Brian Ford on the stick side, and I think that would surprise him, Jerry.
That's about 14 seconds.
Quiet lately
Yeah.
in the scoring column. Excellent.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Off a main source here, 83, the Byford Dolphin diving bell accident killed 5 and left 1 severely injured. I've looked into this, and this was a case of rapid decompression. So what happened was, like, like those deep dive welder people,
Yeah.
or they go way down, and they have to spend hours, if not
Coming
days, slowly decompress. Well, what a diving bell is, not coming up, but it retains the pressure. So instead of going through,
Come right back up.
no, okay, I'm trying to explain this. Instead of going down and up every single day, they stay in a pressurized environment over a whole week or so. So that way, when it's time to go to work, they just drop them down, and they're already acclimated to the pressure. Go out, do your work, come in,
So their
bring
body's
them
ready
back up,
for it.
retain
Because
the
if you
pressure.
don't, you'll get the bends.
Gotcha.
Well, this was beyond the
And then
bends.
the-
This is way beyond the bends. What happened was there was a malfunction when they were up at surface level. They still
man.
had the pressure from way down there
Yeah.
in their capsule, and it decompressed and instantly.
Crushed them.
Well, no, it didn't crush
Oh,
them. They
damn.
got like all 5 got sucked through a tube about this big.
Wow.
Like, from the difference of pressure to just instantly 5 guys, boom, dead.
Yeah.
It wasn't. They didn't get crushed. They were
Yeah, it would have been
they were on surface level
traumatizing.
in a contraption for
Gotcha.
depth.
Yeah. No, I
And
gotcha.
it's a whole thing. You should really look it up. It's really tragic, unfortunately. Another off the main source here, 1986, USS Rains, USS Reeves, and USS Ollendorf visited Qingdao, China, becoming the first U.S. naval vessel to visit China since 1949. All right. That took a while. So, better late than never. So, let's see, copy link address. What do we got here in 1987? RK, do you want to read any? Or are you still charging?
I'm still charging on my
Okay.
tablet, man.
I'm not sure
That's
what
pretty low.
KR is doing. Oh, I'm seeing he's moving his camera everywhere. Iceberg twice the size of Rhode Island, sighted in Antarctic. Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So,
Put it backwards.
Let's see, 87 as well. U.S. Supreme Court nominee Douglas H. Ginsburg admitted using marijuana, later withdrew from consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's,
no.
the devil's lettuce, or the Jesus cabbage, depending on how you want to look at it. Because I mean, think about it. Jesus walking around in a robe, wearing sandals with a beard. Of course, he smoked weed. And I'm quoting a comedian on that, but I'm not going to disagree with it. 88. KR, if you want to read this.
1988. Kokomo. How's it gonna go?
Yep.
Single by the Beach Boys from the film Cocktail tops the charts for the first hit in 20 years. And the date, their latest.
So I haven't had a hit since then.
Yeah.
But, to Kokomo. That one. Let's see here. What else do we got? 88. Actually, I'll rattle these off here really quick. 88. We have the first NBA game at Bradley Center. Milwaukee Bucks lost to Atlanta Hawks 94-107. First NBA game at Miami Arena. Miami Heat lost to LA Clippers 111-91. And first NBA game at Palace at Auburn Hills. Pistons beat Hornets 94-85. So we got another, some of this. It's stadium opening week or something. What the heck is going on for 3 days?
Must be the first game of the season for them.
Ah, that makes sense. Oh. But what else do we have here in 88? Yeah.
Cornell confirms guard source of worst computers sabotage.
Grad student.
Grad student.
Yeah.
Grad student. Grad student.
Grad source.
Grad source. Is that how you? Is that how you?
I have no idea.
We're all professionals here. 1990 reports of increasing Saudi petroleum production and lower world demand.
All right, so Saudi Arabia is finally doing something good for once, and
they're flexing their muscles for their benefit. Trust me.
Yeah, I know. But
either about flexing their muscles to show who's boss in the cartel, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I think the basis of that, if I remember correctly, they all had limits of what they could ship each day, and all of them were cheating.
Based off of OPEC, right?
Yeah, that is OPEC. That's the cartel.
Yeah.
And so they all had how much they could produce each day, and all of them were sending more and cheating and everything. So Saudi Arabia just said, "Okay, we're going to ramp it up and go for it. Let's see how you guys like it. If you're going to be cheating, we're just going to do it out in the open."
All right. It's backwards, by the way.
Yeah. It's not backwards now.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
It's
forward on my screen.
Huh. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, off of main source here, 1990, Rabbi Meir Kahane, founder of the far-right Koch movement, was shot dead after a speech at a New York City hotel. It makes me wonder what was his stances. Why was he assassinated? Like, let me look him up here really quick. Actually,
hey, there it is.
There we go. That's better. Oh.
It's now it's backwards on my screen, but if you say it's forward on your screen, you're the one recording. So
yeah, this guy. Okay, well, why was he assassinated? Let's just check out his Wikipedia really quick. And I know we're running a little short on time. You know what? I'll just have the audience, if they want to let us know in the comment section how this guy got assassinated. Got another off of main source here. 1991, Tropical Storm Thelma. You know, that's not really a scary name there. Oh, watch out. Here comes Thelma.
Thelma.
Well, you know, beware of Thelma because she caused flash floods in the Philippine city of Ormoc, causing the demise of over 4,900 people. Thelma's a murderer. Jeez, man. Almost 5,000 people right there. Yikes.
A monster.
And I'm going to let KR read this really quick. I'm going to run and grab my sunglasses because I got to show off my voting stickers.
1992 American chess grandmaster Bobby Fischer beats Boris Barsky in an unofficial match in the Belgium dubbed the Revenge Match of the 20th Century.
Yeah, one of the all-time great chess players for the U.S.
Yeah, he was.
anyways.
Yeah.
All right. I'm back. What did I miss?
Chess.
Ah, yes.
Bobby Pitcher.
Yep, the
You
revenge
missed some
match.
chess.
We also have, here we go again.
First, okay. 1993, first NBA game in Alamo Dome. San Antonio Spurs
Sorry.
Warriors 91-85.
All right.
Again, probably first game of the season. Same thing. That's why it's
Yeah.
all coming around now.
Yeah, that would make sense. 1994, space probe Ulysses completed first passage behind the sun. Ooh,
Whoa.
that's pretty big right there.
Yeah.
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 94, Tony Rominger bicycled world record for distance covered in 1 hour for a second time. This time he got 55.291 kilometers. So I'm not sure if he was the one we spoke about the other day. I remember talking about this record, but yeah, this is something for David Rush. And 95, we have the first NBA game at General Motors Place in Vancouver. Grizzlies defeated Minnesota Timberwolves 198 in overtime.
And now the Vancouver Grizzlies are in Minnesota.
Ah,
They're not even in Vancouver.
huh. Well, the Lakers aren't around any lakes.
No.
Yeah,
They were in Minnesota.
yeah, they were. And Vegas can just keep the Raiders. They can just
Oh,
have
yeah.
them. So
With my blessings.
we got a 96 here.
1996, Bill Clinton is re-elected President of the United States, defeating Republican candidate Bob Dole.
Bob Dole.
I did not have sex with that woman.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I'm Bob
But,
Dole.
I just gotta bring up this clip here. So
Hold on.
Bob Dole's a friend of the tobacco industry. Bob Dole likes your style. Bob Dole. Bob Dole. Bob Dole. Bob Dole.
He would
Bob
always
Dole.
talk about himself in the
Bob
third
Dole.
person.
Bob Dole.
Bob Dole.
Bob Dole
He
did a
did.
job for you.
He did.
That's what he would say.
He did.
It was funny as hell.
I at first didn't get that, but it was just funny. He was like saying his name and slowly shutting down. Now this next one is an eyebrow raiser here.
1996, voters in California re-elect entertainer Sonny Bono to U.S. Congress.
Yeah.
Sonny and Cher.
Yeah, no, isn't he? No, that's not the same Bono as I was just
This
making
is
fun
Bono. Sonny Bono.
of. Okay.
He used to duet
You're
with Sonny
thinking.
and
You're
Cher.
thinking of Bono.
Yeah, I was thinking of Bono. Like, you got the
Sonny
reference
Bono.
from South Park. The
Yeah.
biggest douche in the universe.
Yeah.
I'm not a
That's a real
douche.
person.
I could say-
He
like you
skated.
said,
He
you mimicked
skated.
it
He's the
well.
one that skated into a tree and died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting death.
Wait, who died?
Sonny Bono.
Oh,
Yeah.
He
interesting.
skied into a tree.
Oh,
Yeah, skiing or something,
oh,
right?
yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skied into a tree.
Oh,
You're going to lose every time.
Rest in peace. Oh. What else do we got here?
1996, Yankees shortstop Derek Jeter is unanimous choice as AL Rookie of the Year.
All right. No idea who that is, but like,
Derek Jeter, hey, a good baseball player at the time, obviously.
yeah, I put in a lot of these sports ones for you sports people. I have no clue what the hell.
I barely keep track of my Kansas City Chiefs team, so
Yeah.
I do have that announcer voice though.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Off a main source here, 96 as well, Pakistani President Farooq Leghari dismissed the government of Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto and dissolved the National Assembly. That does not sound good.
For what was the country then?
Pakistan.
Oh, okay, Pakistan.
So, that's Pakistan doing
Yeah.
Pakistan things here.
Yeah.
97 as well. What do we got? Oh, this one's hilarious.
1997, 2 hours after Davy Johnson resigned, he is named AL Manager of the Year. Awesome.
He comes back all bashful. Gee, guys, I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt that way about me. I guess I'll come back. In 97, French court orders producer Jacques Carrière, ex-husband of Brigitte Bardot, to pay the former screen star $8,300 in damages.
Brigitte Bardot, a sex symbol in the...
So I guess it must have done something wrong.
Not in the 90s, way before that. Probably 60s, 70s. So she had to be pretty old then.
Yeah. In the year 2000, Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie was laid to rest 25 years after his death after a funeral procession through Addis Ababa. He was, I guess, one of, like, he looks familiar, the name's kind of familiar, and I think he was a good person, ? I'm not sure. He was the emperor. I don't know, there's been just only a handful of emperors as such who were good, and I think he was one of them. I'm not entirely sure, but for something like this to take place 25 years after his death, he must have been loved.
Yeah.
So, 2006, former Iraqi President Saddam Hussein, along with co-defendants Barzan Ibrahim al-Tikriti and Awad Hamed al-Badkar. What a name, Awad.
That's true.
I'm Awad of something. So, are sentenced to death in the Al-Dujal trial for their role in the 1982 massacre of 148 Shiites from Duaji. So, man, they weren't even talking about his recent atrocities. He was paying for stuff from 30 years prior. Yeah. Well, 20 years, but still.
Damn.
Yeah. In 2007, China's first lunar satellite, Chang'e-1, went into orbit around the moon. All right.
Yeah.
So now they have a satellite around the moon. Off a main source here, in 2007 as well, the Android mobile operating system was unveiled by Google, also known as Alphabet Core, and our magic rectangles operate off of that.
Yes, they do.
The Android, not the iOS, which both are awful, but lesser of two evils, I guess. What do we got in 2009?
2009, U.S. Army Major Nidal Malik Hassan, U.S. Army Medical Corps, killed 13 and wounded 43 at Fort Hood, Texas, in the largest massive shooting ever at the U.S. military installation.
Wow.
So at a U.S. military installation, and he was a medic. You're doing the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you're supposed to be saving people from meeting God, not sending them to him. Like, man, he did not know his job at all. What else do we got?
What happened to make him freak out is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, there's the question right there.
Well,
because that's one hell of a thing to go and do just out of the blue, You don't just...
something set him off.
You don't just, one day wake up and be like, I'm going to shoot all these motherfuckers.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You do if you're in the Army and they force you to do ungodly things.
Well, it says here, during the 6 years, Hassan was a medical intern and resident of the Walter Reed Army Medical Center. Concerns were raised about his job performance and behavior, specifically comments described by colleagues as anti-American. Hassan was described as socially isolated, stressed by his work with soldiers, and upset about their accounts of warfare. 2 days before the shooting, less than a month before he was due to deploy to Afghanistan, Hassan gave away many of his belongings to a neighbor. So he was.
Oh boy!
So that's a red flag right there. But he was against the war, and maybe he just went crazy.
Oh, against America, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, against America.
By then he got indoctrinated and went over the top. And
just got it in.
Got it in his head.
Went fucking AWOL, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Moving on up to 2010, Ai Weiwei was reportedly placed under house arrest by Chinese authorities because of a planned party to mark the demolition of his new studio in Shanghai. So, I remember China Uncensored talking about this guy.
Really?
Yeah, not back in 2010.
Yeah. Right.
They brought him up a couple of times and everything. I think he's still MIA. I'm not sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
Bowser.
What?
Was that about Bowser?
Bowser.
Okay.
Oh, Winnie the Pooh?
No, never mind.
I'm
Forget I
confused.
said anything.
Yeah. Anyway, 2012, widespread flooding in Nigeria killed 363 people and displaced 2.1 million
Whoa.
others.
Whoa.
Jeez, man. 1 year later, 4 people were killed after a 4-story building under construction collapsed in Lagos, Nigeria. Yeah, well, bad construction techniques. You know, it's not a really good nation, so they don't have good rules and
Well,
construction, and that's just
how much payola was involved to use inferior stuff,
that
or
too.
cheaper stuff
Yep.
than allowed? Who
Yeah.
knows? You
Yep.
know, I'm making stuff up, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Off the main source here, 2013, India launched the Mars Orbiter mission, its first interplanetary probe.
I remember that.
Yeah. Now,
India's out there now. I remember
yeah,
that.
a lot of people are out there, but when did Gravity release? And I'm not sure if this is the same one. It is. Oh my God, it is. So like I remember when this came out. The movie Gravity. You haven't seen it.
No.
It's basically this lady astronaut. She's up in space, and there's a horrible disaster and all that stuff, and then she has to somehow get back home on her own. And it's a really good movie. Well, it's decent and all that stuff, but like the budget for that movie
Yeah.
exceeded this actual space mission from India.
Okay.
So
Now I see where you're
so
going.
this Mars Orbiter mission, the first interplanetary probe, for India,
Yeah.
cost less than a freaking movie. Like, stupid. What do we got here in 2014?
2014, New Zealand Prime Minister John Key rules out sending troops to fight against Islamic State, but claims there are no New Zealanders on the terror watch list.
There are 40 New Zealanders on the terror watch list. I'm sorry. I thought I heard you say there are no New Zealanders.
I didn't say anything.
Oh. Okay. 2015, Collins Dictionary named binge watch the word of the year, followed by transgender. Yikes. 2015, Fundeo Dam in Brazil collapsed, killing about 23, causing a second dam to fail, releasing a massive flood of mud down the Rio Dilce. And off of main source, I think this is the same thing. There's some different information here. An iron ore tailings dam burst in the Brazilian state of Minas Gerais, flooding a valley, causing mudslides in the nearby village of Bento Rodrigues, and causing at least 17 deaths and 2 missing. So I think it's the same year.
Yeah.
And I think those are related. I'm not sure.
It's hard to tell because one says 2 dams, one doesn't mention it. You think he'd mention wiping out another dam?
Yeah. Well,
So, but the same year, same day,
and same
gotta be.
location, Brazil.
Yeah.
So,
Gotta be.
so 2017, bodies of 26 migrant teenage girls recovered from the Mediterranean. Another 400 migrants were rescued.
Oh, man.
And, well, maybe if you stop like illegally coming over, wherever you're going, like go the routes that were set up. I know it's slow, but hey, it's better than drowning in the Mediterranean. So, what do we got here in 2017?
The New York City Marathon, Geoffrey Kamworor of Kenya wins men's race at 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 53.3 seconds ahead of Wilson Kipsang Shilang Flanagan at 2 hours, 26 minutes, 53 seconds. First American to win women's race since 1977.
All right. And we are just about out of time, but there's one more article I'd like you to read before we wrap us up as soon as I find it. Here it is.
2018, NASA's Voyager 2 probe leaves the solar system, becoming the second human-made object to reach
That's awesome. Yeah.
interstellar space.
Yeah.
And US related news, I suppose you want to talk about it, right?
I was going to bring it up, yes. Voyager 1, we have, I believe, reestablished contact a couple
Really?
days ago. We spoke
Yes.
about this yesterday.
Well, we lost contact with them after it went past Pluto.
Yeah. Re-establish contact Voyager 1. So, radio contact Voyager from science itself. Here. Contact with NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft was re-established tonight following a series of commands transmitted from Earth, ordering Voyager to reorient itself in space with its antenna pointed to Earth. It had been determined that loss of radio contact with the craft on Thursday was due to the spacecraft's communication antenna being pointed away from Earth, yada yada. But we've re-established communication after all this time.
Wow, that's incredible.
That is credible.
And from sending a code through space to tell it to turn around. How does that work?
Yeah. How long has that been up there? When was that launched?
60s, 70s,
yeah.
Something like that.
But
Old.
I don't think it was the 60s. Hey, no.
No, it wasn't in the 80s. 80s? 81?
When was Voyager 1 launched? 77. September 5th, 77.
Wow.
Still,
almost 50 years.
And then we humans down here can't figure out how the hell to program a VCR, but nobody even has those anymore. So. But that shall conclude the show for today. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on this day, on every day. We can only bring you a portion, of most of what we had, let alone what's on record. So yeah, check our, our sources.
Go vote.
Yeah, go vote, and start making your own.
Everybody.
I now have a uniform collage being built on my glasses. But yeah, for your dose of Massive Events Daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We do have other shows from history to news, movie reactions and reviews, gaming, videos, and memes on Omni Kitchen and everything else in between on Talk Show. Check the underbar. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
King's Refuge.
Golden
Rat
Moon.
King.
Yep. And as Rat King just said, Rat King. And of course, you viewers are you. Thank you so much for watching. Double checking one last time to see if we have any comments. And until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs up, and subscribe, and go out there and vote.
Go vote! Go vote!
Toodles!